ICE is going on a massive hiring spree. The so-called One Big Beautiful Bill signed into law by President Trump gave ICE $75 billion to expand the administration's crackdown on illegal immigration. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons told me he plans to use the funding to hire 10,000 additional employees at the agency. And to do so, the Trump administration has started an aggressive recruiting effort to bolster ICE's ranks, including by using images of Uncle Sam telling applicants that the country needs them to deport immigrants in the U.S. illegally. ICE is offering them a $50,000 signing bonus, up to $60,000 in student loan repayments, and other benefits. And just today, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announced the administration will be eliminating an age cap for new ICE officers in an effort to expand the pool of eligible applicants. Critics have expressed concerns about ICE's effort at a time when the agency is facing mounting scrutiny over its aggressive tactics, including the use of masks by agents during arrest operations. But the Trump administration is hoping this campaign will pave the way for ICE to carry out 1 million deportations per year.
Boy. So we got to talk about MSNBC and liberals boohoo, whining, and crying about ICE and their ramped up recruiting efforts. Okay, I don't know if you've heard, but ICE is giving out big bonuses and perks in order to join the squad. Thanks to the big beautiful bill, we're gonna get into some of these perks, okay? Because I think that this is a fantastic opportunity. I think that this is a great opportunity for young men to sign up to save this country, right? To be heroes, okay? By deporting illegal immigrants, okay? But the left doesn't see it that way. In fact, they are now upset because apparently the Trump administration, they're seeing a lot of success when it comes to their renewed recruitment efforts, because we got to boost those mass deportation numbers. Okay, the liberals, they haven't boohoo, whined, and cried enough. Okay, they haven't did a no kings protest enough. Okay, we want more liberal tears, and that's why we have to ramp up the mass deportations. And again, this is why liberals are currently freaking out.
Up until today, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, was only allowed to hire agents under the age of 40. Today, Trump's Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem scrapped that rule.
We've removed any of the age barriers. We no longer have a cap on how old you can be.
ICE agents can now be as old as the day is long, it turns out. Come on down, Grandpa. They'll still take you. Doesn't matter how old you are. And at the same time, yesterday, 404 Media reported that ICE is also ramping up its effort to recruit young people. The agency is reportedly looking for a digital advertising company to, quote unquote, dominate digital media channels, targeting Gen Z via ads on social media and on streaming services like Hulu and HBO Max. They want old people, they want young people, they want anyone they can get, it seems. They've already seen ICE flood social media with recruitment ads like this one, quote, America needs you, join ICE now. Or this one, quote, want to deport illegals with your absolute boys? Go to joinice.gov. I'm clearly not the target audience for that in any way, shape, or form. Or this post, which says, quote, defend your culture, no undergraduate degree required. Phrase your culture is doing a lot of offensive work there in that old advertisement.
How's that going?
Oh, it's going great, Martha. You know, we have almost 78,000 applicants since we opened up, and we're going through. We're finding those people that really want to serve the country.
That was Todd Lyons, director of ICE, talking about the 78,000 people who've applied to work for ICE. I wouldn't call that serving the country. I would call that dishonoring the country. What ICE is doing is the greatest attack on America's freedom since before the Civil Rights era. And when we look at this in the history books, it will be viewed as a shameful time. We'll refer to this time as an embarrassing stain, like we do with the Japanese internments during World War II. And this is larger in magnitude. We have a militarized mask force randomly going after brown people in the streets, abusing them, and then hauling them off to what amount to human chicken cages.
The Trump administration has decided that teenagers, although they can't legally vote and they can't buy cigarettes or alcohol or guns, that they are allowed to join ICE and ruin their lives. That's right. People whose brains have not finished developing yet are going to be involved in kidnapping people off the streets, and they're going to be involved in violent altercations. And I'm sure that this is because the Trump administration is absolutely desperate for more ICE workers. Because I know that they just announced that they're also going to be forcing any FEMA workers, even people who were laid off, to come back and work for ICE instead. And that includes any FEMA workers who are not currently deployed doing something. And by the way, if they refuse, they're going to be fired, apparently, which, I mean, some of those people were already laid off, so kind of weird. Not much of a threat. And their desperation to get people to join is even further highlighted in the fact that they're now offering a $50,000 signing bonus and up to $60,000 in student debt loan repayment, with salaries averaging somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000, including a 25% premium pay bump for being on call.
The Trump administration just announced they will be removing the age limit to join ICE. And I don't know about you guys, but I think it is a fucking problem if 18-year-olds are allowed to enroll into ICE. To give a bit of context, right now the age limit, so you have to be 21 to enroll and to get hired by ICE, and then there's an age limit of 37 to 40 depending on, your physical exams and so forth. But now they're saying that as long as you're over 18, you're able to join ICE. There's not going to be an upward age limit as well, and I think this is absolutely atrocious. There is absolutely no reason that people with an undeveloped frontal lobe should be given the ability to randomly kidnap people off the street. This should not be happening to begin with, but also lowering that age limit is awful, and we're going to see some serious consequences if this gets enacted.
Yo, these fools right here, they are wild. Old girl right here, Christy Nome, she drops the age limit for applying to become a slave catcher. ICE, right? So she dropped the age limit, 18 years old. So you could be a teenager out there, slave catching, because that's exactly what it is. And to make this more enticing, right? Because there's 10,000 positions, but 80,000 people fill out the application. So to make this more enticing, they say, hey, check it out. We're going to give you guys a $50,000 signing bonus. Not only that, we're going to give you student loan forgiveness. So for those who are already paying student loans and they get hired on to be a slave catcher, student loan forgiveness. For those who are 18 and getting ready to go to school, student loan forgiveness, right? So, and it's interesting because when they mentioned 18 years old, they dropped the age limit. This generation of racists and bigots and xenophobes, they're rough. They're rough. The apple didn't fall far from the tree at all.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that, okay? Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the left being upset, particularly with teenagers being able to sign up, become ICE agents, right? Apparently, all you have to be is 18 at this point, right? They're getting rid of age limits. They are issuing massive bonuses, perks, all types of stuff in order to attract people. And the left hates to see this. Now, I love to see it because I think that this is a great opportunity. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this video, is because I'm hoping that young men who, are young, who may be a little lost in life, right? Don't know what to do, that's looking for opportunity. Here's your opportunity, right? So again, we're going to get a little bit more into this, but let's react to MSNBC melting down over all of this. Let's get into it.
All right, take a look at this. I want to show you some recent recruitment ads from the Department of Homeland Security, specifically ICE. This is the landing page on the joinice.gov website, featuring an image of Uncle Sam with the headline, "America needs you." It eerily reads underneath, quote, "America has been invaded by criminals and predators. We need you to get them out. As ICE attempts to boost its recruitment numbers, it's hitting social media with an ad blitz. According to 404 Media, DHS is also looking to run ads on streaming services like HBO Max and Hulu. And Uncle Sam was actually one of the milder ads. Here's another one featuring what appears to be a vintage ad for a van. The tweet says, "Think about how many criminal illegal aliens you could fit in this bad boy." And then the kicker, quote, "Want to deport illegals with your absolute boys?" Take a look at this ad, which reads, "Serve your country, defend your culture. No undergraduate degree required." How totally fun. Defend your culture and no undergraduate degree required. The immigration agency is lowering the bar when it comes to other hiring requirements, too. This week, the Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announced that the agency would be eliminating the age cap for new hires, allowing people older than 40 and as young as 18 to join the ranks of ICE. And DHS is not only making it easier to become an ICE agent, but more financially attractive as well. The DHS website touts that prospective agents may be entitled to signing bonuses of up to $50,000, the possibility of up to $60,000 in student loan repayment, and a 25% premium pay.
Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I cannot stress this enough. For all you Negroes talking about reparations, there ain't no opportunity, the white man holding me back. Here's your opportunity. Here's your opportunity. $50,000 signing bonuses. Again, I'm pretty sure this comes with caveats, right? So, again, read the fine print, okay? But $60,000 student loan repayment. Again, all y'all black people out here talking about some, our student loans, we need our student loans forgiven. Premium pay. Here's your opportunity. All you got to do is just help protect this country. Deport some illegals. You can be a hero. You can get paid nicely, get a lot of government benefits, while at the same time being a slave catcher, right? Again, imagine getting your reparations by being a slave catcher, right? I'm just saying, this is probably the closest thing that a lot of these people are going to get to reparations. But this is what I'm talking about when, I talk about how life is full of opportunities. It's really about whether or not you're seeking opportunity, right? Because a lot of people will boohoo, whine, and cry and say, there's no opportunities. But yet they're not looking for opportunities. And the reason why they're not seeking opportunity is because of their mindset, right? Because you have a loser mindset. So stuff like this is the opportunity that comes up that, again, if you are a young man, you're 18, 19 years old, you're not going to college, you don't know what you really want to do, and, you want some gainful employment, yeah, you might want to sign up. I'm just saying, you might want to sign up for this job, right? I mean, I'm just saying, at least for the next 3 to 4 years, you're going to be good, right? You're going to make a lot of money over the next 3 or 4 years. And I heard in some places that they're even paying for housing as well, too. So you're talking about maybe minimum expenses, and you're getting paid these fat paychecks, no tax on overtime, right, up to a certain amount. These are the type of opportunities that people should be taking advantage of. So I'm just saying, right, I strongly encourage any young man, 18, 19, 20 years old, you got a dead-end job, you don't know what to do with your life, you're not going to college, right? Again, you're looking for opportunity, you're looking for, some type of, career move. Here you go. And then, after you do this, there are probably a lot of other job opportunities that will open up, mainly when it comes to law enforcement, security, things like that. Yeah, it opens up doors. But again, you got to have the right mindset. So I'm just saying that, this is something that people really should take advantage of. The left, they're kicking and screaming and crying about this for a reason, because these perks are so good that they know a lot of people are going to sign up for this, right? As they should.
5% premium pay. The recruitment push is working. We know it's brought in at least one new high-profile agent, the 59-year-old actor and vocal Trump supporter Dean Cain, who once played Superman on TV. He shared on social media that he plans to become an ICE officer to, quote, save America. Superman, a literal, undocumented alien, like an actual alien from outer space, from the planet Krypton, is now going to be an ICE agent. You cannot make this stuff up. Jokes aside, this drive to hire more personnel seems to be ideologically driven. ICE used to require employees to have an undergraduate degree. Not anymore. You don't really need any experience in law enforcement either. Apparently, you don't even need a uniform because so many of the arrests that we're witnessing are being carried out by masked plainclothes officers.
Now, again, why would you need a degree? Why would you need experience? That's what you have a supervisor for. You're talking about catching illegals, right? We need manpower, right? We need guys, right? We need dudes. We need bodies. We need bodies. We don't need experience, right? Again, this is what you have a supervisor for. We just need people who go follow orders and do the job. So you don't need a degree. And see, that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with our society. When you talk about the bloated cost of college, why are you sending people to school to get degrees to be in law enforcement? You don't need a degree to be in law enforcement. You should need a degree to be in law enforcement. I know that sounds counterintuitive. Well, you should have a degree. You should understand criminal justice to be a police officer. No. You can learn all of that on the job. Okay, you can learn specifically what you need to know about being a police officer, about being an ICE agent on the job, okay? Because going to school and getting a degree in criminal justice or whatever is not going to teach you how to be a police officer. What they teach you in the academy and what you learn on the job from experience will teach you how to be a police officer, okay? It's really that simple. So again, the boohoo whining crowd about, oh, they don't require degrees. It's like, well, they shouldn't require degrees. In fact, more jobs should not require degrees. That's one of the main issues with our country when you talk about the bloated cost of college. Require a degree for jobs that don't require a degree. And see, this is what I don't like about liberals, right? They'll boohoo whine and cry about so many things in this country, so many problems. And the only answer that they ever have is that, well, it should just be free. Well, college should just be free. Well, why don't you actually fix the underlying issue why the cost of college is bloated? Mainly due to the fact that the government is willing to give an unlimited amount of money for people to go to college who shouldn't go to college. And then you have these jobs requiring degrees for jobs that don't require degrees. But again, liberals don't have any solution outside of free this, okay? Because free stuff is better than, hey, you know what? Let's actually not require degrees for these jobs. Let's actually take away the money that we're giving to students to go to school who probably shouldn't be using that money to go to a 4-year university. When it comes to healthcare, oh, everybody should have free healthcare. Well, what about the fact that a significant portion of society is obese, right? Which is driving up healthcare costs, right? Now, let's not address that, right? Let's not address the food, what we eat, our diets, the amount of exercise we get, the things that are actually really driving up and making healthcare more expensive for everybody. Nah, let's not address that. Let's just hand out free money. And that's what I hate about progressives, right? That's what I do not like about their ideology. It's very simple-minded. So, yeah, again, requiring ICE agents or crying about ICE agents not being required to have degrees to me is just kind of stupid. And again, a symptom of a larger problem that we have when it comes to why education is so expensive is because of stuff like this.
COVID's on the rise, so maybe they're onto something, although as I recall from a few years ago, the Trump administration was against the wearing of masks, but whatever. The only real requirements to becoming an ICE agent these days seem to be a beating heart and an alignment with Trump's deportation crackdown. Almost like he's building an army of sycophants. And he's got the money to do it. Trump's one big beautiful bill sets aside nearly $170 billion for immigration enforcement and border security efforts, including $75 billion with a B in extra funding for ICE specifically, making ICE the highest funded law enforcement agency in the federal government. Put this into perspective. ICE now receives more funds and resources than most national militaries.
Yeah, I mean, they are our front line of defense. When you talk about defense against a foreign invasion, ICE is our first line of defense. Border Patrol is our first line of defense. Why would we not fund them? In fact, we should be funding them more than what we use our military for in foreign operations, right? Because again, these individuals are actually protecting the homeland. Like, they're actually protecting the homeland, not fighting some regime change war in some Middle Eastern country that really doesn't affect us like that, right? That to me probably should receive less funding, okay? And this actual homeland security, right, protecting the homeland should receive more funding. That to me seems about right.
ICE is rapidly becoming the nation's largest domestic police force. Its size and power double that of the FBI. It seems like the Trump administration is building up ICE to be an alternative force that's bigger, more politically loyal, unencumbered by standards, and largely shielded from democratic accountability.
Yeah, so these people are basically making the argument that ICE is becoming Trump's personal army. Now, personal army to do what? I don't know, right? Outside deport illegals, okay? But this is what they're arguing, okay? They got a problem with the Trump administration recruiting 18-year-olds. But again, I don't see why that should be an issue, right? I think young men at the age of 18 should be signing up for these types of jobs. That's exactly who you want. You want able-bodied young men, okay? High testosterone individuals in these roles, okay? And we don't have a problem with 18-year-olds going to the military, right? So I don't understand why this would be an issue. I don't think that it should be a problem for an 18-year-old to be a police officer. I don't think that any of this stuff is a problem. Nothing that this dude said was a problem to me, right? It was an issue to me. If anything, it seems like the boohoo, whine, and cry may just actually be helping, right? It may help ICE recruit more people, okay? Because while they're boohoo, whine, and crying, they are highlighting all of the sweet benefits that you get for becoming an ICE agent. Again, it sounds like a sweet gig to me. You know, if I was 18, 19 years old, I didn't know what I was going to do in my life. I need something to do. If I'm, working in a prison or something like that, I got a lot of family members that work in a prison. I'm from the country, right? So, prison work is very common, right? I'm telling them, I'm like, listen, y'all need to apply to become ICE agents, right? You don't like working in the prison? Okay, go become an ICE agent. That's what you should be doing. Okay, I'm just saying. There's opportunity out there if you're seeking the opportunity. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.